I'm back, and I'm ready, to fuck. Back! Alright, I was checking if I sounded like shit. I don't. I want to play more, Hitman, so I'm going to. You can't stop me. Um, so, I'm gonna go to Sapienza. And, pick something to do. One of the mission stories. Sure, Memory Lane. I'm here for the Chivos, okay? And then we'll go play with our worms. Because Monster Rancher 2 is a good time. I enjoy eyeball on a stick.
Welcome to Sapienza 47.
Thank you. Alright, mission story. Beyond the grave. Sure, whatever they want me to do. I guess I could have started over there. Replan. Replan. Underrated feature. Honestly, just do some freaky shit in the lab coat. You feel me? Let's get freaky. Science.
Ether's field lab. You made it. The virus prototype will be close by. Look for some type of quarantine unit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so walk me through this.
Right. Well, this is the control panel for the air purification.
I need a biohazard suit.
In case of an outbreak.
Yes.
Like those guys over there. Just like those guys.
We might have a situation. So, suspenders, huh?
Better believe it.
What's up, Doc?
The prototype could
I get it. Like Bugs Bunny. Love a funny guy. The goop.
Don't do it unless you're in a hurry.
Thank you. Duly noted.
I need to get to this tube. Enter the tube. Huh?
Wait. Nah.
That shit ain't science. I don't need to investigate it if it's not science.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Hey, go check that out.
Yeah, okay.
Go check that out.
Hey!
Oh, son of a bitch.
Already! Christ, somebody help me!
Uh-oh. Guys, they know.
There's a guy I saw. Tried to strangle this person.
So tell me, who are we looking for?
I don't know. Have you seen anyone acting suspiciously?
I'm on it. Stand here until I...
It can't be this easy. It can't be this easy.
Command, how do you read? Over. Confirming that we have a strangler on our hands.
A strangler, you say? That's crazy.
Oh, let me get out of your way, Mr. Hazmat.
It might have escaped your notice, but there are bad things going on.
I would strongly advise you to leave the area.
Oh, no. Oh, not good, no.
Not good! This is how I'll blend in. Sweaty little man in my little suit. I work here, so this is fine. Where's the fuck? Where's the big vat?
Yeah, so this is where Ms. DeSantis keeps all the research data. Keeps this stuff pretty close to her chest.
Why? We all signed an NDA the size of a phone.
Yeah, well...
Is there an out?
Wait up. Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm the coin man.
Sir,
Yeah,
don't
I'm talking
throw
to
stuff
you.
around.
What?
Hey, that's far enough.
Dude, they know! Shut it down!
Initiating decontamination procedure.
Okay, so we might have fucked things up a little bit. Mission stories. Memory Lane, The Good Son. I don't know what this one's about, but let's pretend to be a priest or something and start from there. Something about this level, it fights against my nature. There's the man. Alright, mission stories. Gotta get in there. Hmm. Nice. Really? I'm trespassing? Dang it.
Sorry, we're not in need of a gardener right now. Please turn around and walk away.
Alright, man. Chill. What are they talking about?
Hey, I found an old box of VHS tapes in the observatory. I didn't know Caruso was so old school.
Oh, those. They're all old family clips from his childhood. You know, camcorder stuff. I used to watch him all the time on his old projector.
Oh, well, my cousin does digital conversions in his basement. He'd probably give him a good price.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Caruso put the tapes away after his mental breakdown. The doctors didn't think it was a good idea for him, you know, seeing his mother's goats.
Huh?
Who the fuck is Sandy Loam?
What's up, Hassan? Good to hear your voice.
Family clips from his childhood. You know, camcorder stuff. I don't know, he used to watch them all the
Who
time.
the fuck
on
is
his
Sandy
projector.
Loam?
Oh, well, my cousin does digital conversions in his basement. He'd probably give him a good price.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. Caruso
That was a really good one. What's up, Sam?
tapes away after his mental breakdown. The doctors didn't think it was a good idea for him, you know, seeing his mother's ghost and all.
Oh, right. Well, if we could borrow the projector sometime, I have a bunch of old horror films on DVD. I've got The Haunting of Beldingford Manor.
Yo, they got VHS tapes. They're up here. We can watch horror movies? OMG. I never knew. OMG. Play the VHS tape on the observatory projector. Okay. Crazy. I should, like, definitely fucking save. Oh god, oh fuck. Hide as the plague doctor? Okay.
Very becoming, 47. Now keep still. Caruso won't be long.
Okay.
What's this? I don't remember leaving the projector on.
I put 47 spices in the pasta, and it still tastes like ashes in my mouth.
I thought I got rid of these. Was there a tape in the machine this whole time?
Dude, we're like breaking this dude psychologically.
Like a beast in the night, you are all that I'm thinking of.
You're all dismissed. Please leave the observatory at once. I have very important work. I cannot be here. Leave now.
I'm begging you, come back to me.
I need to get this to digital.
I follow you, I'm watching you.
VHS. 15, 20 years.
Come back to
It's now or never.
I will find 47 ways.
I will find 47 ways.
I'd forgotten about that.
A taste of wine turns bitter on.
Wait, it was so that's it? Wait. Is there more to this? Mission story completed. Okay, so I'm just supposed to stab this guy now.
I watch what's wandering to his
Pathetic little turd.
Get rid of him or I swear
Oh, that's sick.
Target down. Next up, Francesca DeSantis.
I follow you, I'm watching you. Ritorna, I'm circling you, thinking of 47 ways to make you pay.
It'd be fucked up putting him in as the plague doctor. I'm the gardener. Circumcision knife. Right, mission stories. So we did that one. What about challenges? Eliminate her with a fireplace explosion. Okay. Francisca DeSantis.
You're not allowed here. Who are you?
What if it's cool if I am? What if it's cool if I am? We can still make it work, Chad. It'll be fine. Check this out. It's gotta be real good at video games.
Hey, you! Bitch, I'm gonna get you for this. You can't get away. Find him. Clear out.
Hey, you. This is a restricted area. Okay, I'm trying. Hold it.
Enough of this. Show me.
God, these guys are really ineffective, huh?
This is impossible. Just look for a combination code like Ms. DeSantis said.
Caruso's absent-minded.
Likes to write things down.
Yeah, but you wouldn't just leave it lying around for the cleaning staff to find. Could be jewelry and stuff inside.
Staff wouldn't even know about the safe. They never come up here. That being said, if I was the doc, keep the code downstairs in my office. Bedroom.
Yeah.
On his phone?
I can see my cursor when I do this.
DeSantis
Cool.
says try.
Okay, so just try. Huh. I thought it was a good idea too. All right, where have him?
Why are we not just dealing with these guys the old-fashioned way?
We looked.
Because I have mercy. Boom. Shuts closed. The gardener. Dump missing propane flask. Oh, that's great. Dump propane flask in the shaft. Duh. Oh shit! It was not time for that. Well shit, I didn't think the fireplace was on, bro. What are you talking about? Don't tell me it auto-saved right before I was about to do this. They knew, dude. They knew I was about to fuck everything up. We're so lucky. What's she even doing, bro? Gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Hitman should probably have games on his phone. Oh, she's on the move. She's on the move. Come on, enjoy the fireplace. Come on. Come on. Turn on your favorite cozy streamer. Now she's taking phone calls, man. We're gonna be here all day. It's fine. You can just do that to propane flasks. Come on, go warm up with the fireplace. Even though it's the middle of fucking summer. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna save it here. She's not close enough, is she? She taking another phone call? What's she doing? She's right below me. Bruh. No. Not this way. Bruh. Oh shit. Oh shit. Is this near it? I don't think it is. Maybe we do a test dump. Hold on. Okay, that guy washing his hands is nowhere to be seen there. Just a little test dump. So it's coming out like here. Yes? Confusing little thing. Come on, girlfriend. You know you want to enter the passageway? Come on. Oh, she's pissing me off. Okay, hold on. Now, what did we have here? Okay, she's fine if I do that. We just gotta be patient, chat. Just gotta be patient. Everything will be fine. We just gotta not open up fucking the chess app on our phone. Can't get distracted. She could walk by the fireplace at any moment. Any second now. I hate this. I really do. This is probably the worst part of Hitman, is the waiting. Unless I'm supposed to make it cold somehow.
Oh no, the bed is so wet. Oh no, Obama help.
So true. Yeah! Yeah! Get fucked! But she didn't die. But she didn't die. But she didn't die. Son of a bitch. Dude, do you see me not? Do you not see me doing that? I'm doing it as soon as it pops in, and it just won't accept it. There. Get fucked? Question mark.
Please, no panic.
Bro, she doesn't die from that. Oh my god. What am I supposed to do there? Really? I'm gonna try it again. Really? Bro, it like doesn't... Hold on. Toy tank. What if I put that in it? No. It's only propane flasks.
Stand up. 2 hooks, come on.
What if instead of pirate I was a poor 8 and I puke?
Puke. You can do what you want. I think maybe eating a poo-poo might make you sick, though. Just throwing shit in the hole. Alright, we'll wait a little bit. Maybe see she warms up next to the fire. Or something. Yes, hello, Synth Flump.
I cast Scrunch.
Hell yeah. Good pirate. Good pirate maneuvers.
I eat, get sick, and then poop, or eat poop. Get sick and poop some more. Riddle me that.
Sound like you're a dog with really, like, really bad habits.
Still a child.
A not very well trained Popey. Wait, there's yet another fireplace? You gotta be kidding me. There's motherfucking multiple. And there's multiple propane flasks. Oh. Whole lot of waiting around.
I'm gonna eat shit. It's my job. I get paid to eat shit. Come here. Scrunch.
Fetish. Fiatish content.
I eat that pasta, I make it that pasta, then eat it that pasta, make it and eat it that pasta. Jill Wormire.
Yeah, go off.
This one is my new favorite. Let's fucking go. I love you, Agent 47.
Hell yeah, girl. I love that voice too. That's really good. That's really good. Bro, why is she not further enticed. By the chimney. This is like the 5th time she's done this. I'm genuinely confused. Fucking Sapienza, man, I swear. Trying to make time dilation happen by running around. Maybe if I get further away from her, her time will go faster.
Last town and train saying the matron was spent on the night of the Slawmore.
Fucking brighten up some heat.
Yeah, it'll show my bitch ex-wife who shouldn't get custody of their sons. Fuck you, Melanie. I miss her so much. I typed KYS on her grandpa's Facebook wall BTW.
So, like, one day, I was totally eating da pasta.
Damn, that's so random. I'm so sick of this. I'm never gonna kill these people with the fucking. I'm never gonna do it with the fireplace. That's stupid. Whatever. All right, what do we got? Did we get? Which one do we get? What did we get here? Oh, I can give her a wheat joint. Find and destroy 6 crocodiles. Like, at the beach?
Jake from State Farm. More like Jinky from Stinky Stink Fart.
Yeah. Very original. Derivative.
Huh.
Huh.
Huh. I didn't like the sound of that.
What's the deal with coins? Bro.
Yeah.
Aw.
What?
Subdue. Kill. Alright, replan mission. Wow, I haven't seen that in quite a while. Those little eyeballs.
I'll show you derivative. Fuck. You.
Will you know?
Who's a stinky poopy diaper baby?
Not me. Yeah, you meant to type the girl voice on that one. Yeah. Find and destroy 6 crocodiles. Okay, so they say. Is there a way I can do this without people getting freaked out by my antics?
Oh, huh. Wow. Oh.
Well, that's a lost coin. Can't get that coin back. No one noticed me kill that
It was
crocodile.
probably nothing, but you know, better make sure. Can you please go see what that was?
Yes.
No one suspects the clown.
I'm going to eat a da pasta of aging.
Did it worm?
I think it wormed. Bro, I think that shit wormed. If y'all spot any alligator inflatable dolls, tell me. I need to kill them. I thought this would be easy, but so far I only found one of them.
Yeah, hey.
I just found another. It's right next to a bunch of people. It's probably gonna freak them out when I shoot them. That's two.
Huh?
In the water or... No, just inflatable. Inflatable ones. I bet that dude's a freak.
That new Jordan Cross tune? I cry every time I hear it. I mean, it touches me somewhere deep.
That dude gets touched. That music. Wiki says there's one up that performer's ass. Well, I guess we better go find it, huh? Better go find ass. Sanguine, my brother. HH. Sanguine, brother, HH. It actually fucking fucks that up. That's actually good. You just destroy the wine glass and you can no longer poison it. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. It's okay for a clown to go to church, too.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 7 days since my last confession.
Speak, child.
You gotta find
Yesterday,
another place to well, do
I
your
made a
thing,
mistake.
okay?
I made a mistake and a man lost his life. A good man. Someone I knew. It was just
sir,
a tiny little
behave in an
slip up
orderly
where I work,
fashion.
but even a small mistake can be catastrophic. They took him to the chapel morgue, and I want to pay my respects. Say how sorry I am. But he's dead, Father, and nothing I say will bring him back. If I go, am I merely being selfish?
My child. Grief is for the living, not the dead. You do whatever you need to do, because his sorrow has ended, and yours has not.
Thank you, Father. Thank you. I will.
Hey, what's up?
Get lost.
Bro, let's fucking confess. Let's fucking confess, dude. Let's just do like the confession manager. Hey, yo, Pop, I need to confess. Hey, Pep Pep. Can I confessional? You confessed. You're better now, right? That's how God works, right?
You lost, buddy?
I have questions about religion. I'm in the God part. Dude, what if there was just nut everywhere? I love the flower. Hello, my people. I am the second coming.
That's funny, clown.
Going on my kill this guy later list. Alright, cataloged. Dead later. You will be. Yes. What am I doing? Beyond the grave. Or we were doing the good son? Question mark? I don't know what the fuck we were doing. We were killing alligators, and then I ran to a church. Alright. It's probably like a gift shop, you know?
Hey, hurry up! You'll be late for your first day.
Relax, it's all good. Just gotta put some pants on.
Relax, it's all good.
I'll get the blame. I could get fired. Is that what you want?
Oh, please.
Crock of fucking shit!
Hey, show some respect. Have you been over that boss and paid the rent? So get your act together.
It could be over here. Let's gain map knowledge, chat. I'm gaining map knowledge. Mm-hmm.
Shower time, Adderall, a glass of whiskey, and diesel jeans.
I haven't thought about that vine in a very long time. And I forgot the feeling it gave me. Yeah, if you don't do those things, but if you ever well, don't do those things, but if you ever do, eat a good meal before you do that. Maybe drink some water.
OH, my god, I've finally unlocked it. The Purple Streak Baller. I'm so blessed be.
Yay!
Mwah. Love you, Mr. 47. Wink.
Oh, love you too, wink. You're welcome. Yep, drops are enabled. So you can get Hitman stuff. Just by watching the stream. Except for the bathrobe. By the way, all these things are purple. They're very bright purple and they look cool. I think the bathrobe, you have to give me money. I didn't make the rules, but that would be cool. You probably would want to do that anyway because you would like to support me materially or emotionally if that's a comfortable decision for you to make. So, but it's no big. You just sit back, relax, enjoy the fun, let the clown lockpick and run. Crazy Italian candy.
I have no more patience with you.
Why are you so bent out of shape?
Did someone get off their ass and give a girl some help?
She has no clue. It's me. Crazy. Crazy spooky. Oh, these are the fucking dresses you see at the fashion show? That's so crazy. Toilet.
Those are my dresses. They stole them.
Yeah, I know. Let it go, chat. You bring it up every time. It's just not that big of a deal. We can get you more. Be alright. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They stole them. So I'm kind of bored of looking for alligators. I kind of want to play some more Monster Rancher. Because I want to show off my fucked up little guy some more. So I'm gonna switch gears. Switching gears, Monster Rancher. Monster Rancher 2!
Oh. There goes the floor again. Just never stops, teehee.
The floor makes that sound? That's criminal. It just won't stop. Curious. Wait, Telltale Heart? Like Telltale Gaming? What? Telltale Gaming. Let me get the console loaded up. Let me get the console. The PlayStation 1, the PlayStation Classic. Let me load up the PlayStation Classic. Hit the PlayStation Classic themed Benjamin.
You die. In the game, you die. In real life,
I like how the heartbeats are causing it to clip. I'm not even gonna fix that. Alright, here we go. Once again, I own this game, so I can emulate it. It's okay. Everything's fine. Might be fucking loud, though. Might be a little fucking loud. Alright. Trainer Maynard. I didn't even realize Maynard rhymes with trainer. Trainer Maynard. Maynard.
Do you ever just...
Question mark.
Often.
Maynard.
We'll let Dennis rest. It's Dennis. I'm thinking maybe we freeze Dennis after some more training. Is there any battles on right now? No. We can freeze Dennis. And have another guy to train. If we wanted to. Freezy. Dennis is pretty dumb, so study. Correct. Dennis as well. Begin the drill. Domino. Didn't even have to touch it. Impressive. Dennis seems well. He seems well. Leap. This is a... Dennis says, I want some rest next week. Sure. Oh, he lied. He didn't need it. He's fucking with me, isn't he? I treat him too good. Yeah, you get a fucking potato. I don't like Dennis's attitude anymore. He's getting too comfy. Yes, who is it? You have mail. Oh, it's send him to boot camp because it's cheaper now, right? Yep. Yep. Guess what, Dennis? You're stressed out? Well, guess what? I did make a promise. But guess what? You're going to errantry, actually. Fuck you. It'll be better off. You'll be better off for this. We will have $30 left. Let's do it. It'll be worth it. Monkey race. Excuse me. That monkey like whooping his ass? Alright. New tech. Cliff leap. He's gonna die. We're just gonna watch him. What was that? You had a bright idea? Yeah. Oh. Oh. This reminds me of Tamagotchi life. A little bit. What's going on? Holy shit. Oh my god, Dennis. Failure. Alright, they rebuilt the structure for him. You can try again. Oh, Dennis. He tried it again and it still didn't work. Alright. New technique. Pretty strong. Praise it? No. It seems disappointed. Oh well. Whatever. Hey Maynard. I can't find... Oh my fucking god, he ran away, chat. Guys, I abused Dennis too much. I know it was acting odd lately, but I never thought it would We gotta find it and report it. Oh, chat, we pushed him too far. He's lost it. Dennis is not yet back. I wish it'll come back soon. Dude. Dennis is not yet back. I wish it'll come back soon. Dude. Dennis... Dude. Guys. Hey, Dennis. Hey, let's go fight, man. He has a little loyalty. Well, I feel bad. I don't know, man. I didn't realize this was going to be such a responsibility. Spring Carnival. Here we are in the Parpare Arena. When we reach March here, we're already into summer weather. Under this circumstance, Spring Carnival D is now beginning. Maynard, let's win. Hi, Josh. We're playing Monster Rancher 2. I just abused my monster so much that he ran away from home for like 2 months. And he came back and he laughed in my face. His name's Dennis. Sakura Art had a splendid victory. I'm not saying because I'm feeling like worms today. Aw. Hey, I hope you feel better. Most cherished viewer. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you feel better. Happy holidays, by the way. Alright, this one's for Josh. Don't fall to the prey of the succubus, Maynard. Yes, feel better. Got better. Josh. Okay, so we destroyed Million with their brain. Dennis had a splendid victory. Consolation match. Million won. The final. Dennis versus Sakura Art. Let's get it. Sakura? Sakura? Little lump thing. Oh, it's like the succubus, but it's like the little penguin guy we fought before. Keep hitting them with the brainwaves, Dennis. What the fuck? What the fuck? Get out of here with that. They hate Dennis. They just boo him. They hate him. Hate this guy. Damn. Oh, that did a lot of damage. No, no. Okay, finally. No. Oh, man. Oh, Dennis. They win. Did we get, like, any money? Get like a little bit of money. Oh, wow. We got a lot of money. And we gained some fame. Always appreciate it. I think Dennis has learned a lesson in this tournament. See, look. Dennis could not be a champion, but I think it did a good job. Praise it? Yeah. Seems pleased. Wayward son, Maynard. Or Dennis. From now on, it will be a critical time for Dennis. Let's give it some intensive care. Dennis seems well. Alright, give it some rest. It's important to rest your Dennis. Dennis is very well. I guess skill is the one that means, like, they hit more often. Shooting drills, that's good. Nice. He loves sticking out his tongue. Make him appreciate what he had. Have some fish. Maynard, you've run out of money. You better enter Dennis into a tournament that makes some bucks. Dennis as well. Is there a tournament? There is no tournament. I got a little bit of money. Okay. Success. Dennis seems well. Rest. Arise. Dennis. Dennis is very well. Hey, we gotta fight. He may do tomfoolery. Whatever. Here we go. Blue Sky Cup. The air is cold, but the sunshine definitely tells us that spring will be here soon in the Papa's Arena. Under this circumstance, Blue Sky Cup is about to start. Maynard, let's win. Crust there. Leon has given up. Okay. Didn't want to fight Dennis. Dennis wins by default. Okay. Dennis was too powerful for them. They just refused to fight. Okay. It's interesting. Interesting move. Hair kicks one. Dennis versus Ugly Man. Let's get it. Holy hell. has the slap of the century. Ooh, that's big owie. Man, I thought we had it. I thought we had it, bro. Oakley man won. Leon won. Let's give it to Dennis. Maybe we don't always give him advice. Maybe he would like us more if we laid off. I hope no one here sees Dennis in their dreams. If you're not able to see the screen right now, he is an eyeball on like one leg and he just floats. But he has a mouth, which implies he has a digestive system, which implies he has to poop from somewhere, which I'm guessing is his foot. He has an anus at the end of his foot. Although it's not really a foot because he's just floating. We lost. That's okay. We have monsters whose scores are tied, so we now hold a tie-breaking match to determine the champion. Oakley Man's the winner. Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. This is the result of this tournament. We got a little bit of money. 300. And we gained, we lost 4 fame. That's okay. It happens. Can't win them all. I called that, pretty good shit, even though we fucking lost. So we still made money. So did we really lose? Overall, we're still losing. But maybe we can turn Dennis around. Dennis has learned a lesson in this tournament. True. Praise Dennis. Alright. Oh, we got another tourney? What? No way. Let's just do it and not give him advice. Just see what he does on his own. How about that? Gemini Cup. We have a spring rain in the Pare Pare Arena. Under the circumstance, Gemini Cup is now beginning. Maynard, let's go for it. Maynard! No advice for Dennis. Dennis can really win a battle without any advice. Okay. You say so. What the fuck, Dennis? The big lick. Oh, we have multiple skills there now. Interesting. Just lick people. He is immune to the kisses of a woman. Alright, Dennis. Nice. Okay, we lost, but like he stood his own, you know. That's a creepy fucking portrait. Well, I kind of meant to say no to that, but whatever. We can give Dennis advice. Capella, your icon is creepy. Nice, nice. Nice. Owie. Yeah, get fucked. Yeah, get fucked. KO. Nice work, Dennis. That's just me telling Dennis what to do, you know? It's all Dennis, really. Dennis won. Then good luck, Maynard. Good luck, Maynard. Oh, this guy's a little lemur. Figured out how to lick. How to switch to the lick ability. Come on, Dennis. Come on. Quit, let him slap you. Yeah, get him. Fry that little rat. Oh, I thought we were gonna be able to get in a lick. We won. Fuck you, bitch. Dennis won. Excuse me. Milliam won. Milliam is the winner. Get a little money. Hey, we get some money. And we gain 3 fame. Now, I want to go into the lab and do some freaky experiments. I want to get freaky. Maynard, I think Dennis has learned a lesson during this tournament. Hey, look. Dennis could not be a champion, but I think it did a good job. Praise it? Yeah. Seems pleased. Excuse me. I want to experiment with Dennis. Ill-tasting food is high in protein, nutrient, and calories. Sumptuous meal. Yeah, we need some more loyalty. Eat well, Dennis. Maynard, did you know the official tournament is at the end of this month? You have to prepare your Dennis to fight. Yes, who is it? You have mail. Oh boy, we can send Dennis to the crazy academy. Shall we send Dennis? Dennis seems pretty fucking tired. Yeah, he seems genuinely kind of fucked up. Unless he's just faking it, which then he's just shooting himself in the foot. Let's send him on a crazy trip to the fucking academy again. Torble C. Torble. Torble. First stage, watermelon. What? Success. New tech. Small raft. Second stage. Okay. Come on, buddy. You got this. Uh-oh, shark. Oh. Nailed it. Use the shark to his advantage to get on the raft. The small raft. Hungry Sharks, third stage. Oh, Dennis, watch out. Yeah, beat him off with your big tongue. Yeah, use your big tongue to beat off all the sharks. No one's out here, just you and the sharks. Yeah, beat them off. Just you on the raft. Oh, they're wet. Yeah, you get a little wet too and a little salty. Good job, Dennis. Back on the beach. Gigantic crab. Giant crab. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Dennis, don't get your tongue. Oh my god, I'm so glad he didn't get his tongue caught in the big snipper. That would be so unfortunate. Oh my god, this is the big crab though. Uh-oh. I like how he like plops down to think. Ow. Why'd you... Oh? Oh, smart. Uh-oh. Dude, I'm on the edge of my fucking seat right now. Oh my god, he did it. He did it. Victory. What the fuck? Success. Wait, what? What was that at the end? Now loading. This was the first time I've seen him get through like an entire errantry course. Dennis is really impressing me. Rocky gel. That's freaky, dude. What the hell? Alright, Dennis. I have no control here. It's all up to you. There's no people here, but still the ghosts from the past still come to boo Dennis because they think he's gross. They don't like that he poops out of his foot. Canonically, I've decided in my canon. I spit on him, Dennis. Yeah, okay, they think that's funny, apparently. They like this, they think this is funny. Okay, okay. Alright, fuck him up, Dennis. He's doing pretty good so far. Okay. This is really promising. Oh my god, Dennis. The lick, dude. That is morbid. It's just straight up bizarre. Whoa. Oh, Dennis. Good job. That deadly lick. That was impressive. That was really, really, really good work. I'm so proud of Dennis, it's crazy. Wait, he's not out of the woods yet? Great, Dennis. It's an easy battle to win against those guys. Let's go back. Well, don't say that. Too bad you didn't catch it. But thanks. Okay. Oh, yes, the prize money. I nearly forgot. Here. There's prize money? Well, keep up the good job. Dennis defeated a wild monster. It's wonderful, and it also acquired a new technique. It seems pretty strong. Praise it? Yes. Seems very delighted. You are too hard on it. Dennis will pass out. Dude, Dennis, chill. Chill the fuck out, Dennis. It's fine. Dennis. Rest, Dennis. All is well. Dennis is well. No, let's train him. Let's do more shooting. Success? Cheat. He cheated. Bastard. Scold it? Yes. It seems sorry. I'm good. You get the ill-tasting tablet. That's actually really good for you. Oh, he hates it. Here, eat well. Dennis is well. Cool. Yeah, I'm giving him fucking steroids over here. Good job. I shouldn't have skipped it. I want to see how he cheats at that. Monster Pups Cup? Dude, the Monster Pups Cup's coming up. That's crazy. Let's do it. She's giving me a lot of advice. It's starting to scare me. Maybe it's like I shouldn't be doing this. Monster Pups Cup. Get a screenshot of that. The clear blue skies, typical in the summer. We have a nice cool breeze here in the Papa's Arena. Under the circumstance, the Monster Pups Cup is now beginning. Monster Pups, Maynard, let's win. Dennis versus Juno Mole. Let's whoop ass. Oh yeah, Dennis has new abilities. Just remember how to switch to that. Cool. Teleport. Holy shit.
Monster pop stop. Monster pop stop. Monster pop stop. God.
Sorry about that. Monster Pups Cup.
Monster Pups Cup. Yeah, get fucked. One.
Dennis, fucking shoot this thing. Kill it.
Kill it, Dennis. Kill it dead. Dude, that little bunny Nats, he like farts at you. Just saying. Lick the wolf. Lick the wolf. Dennis, fucking shoot this thing. Damn. Lick the wolf.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Ready. And
Thank you, chat member. Simflop. For killing that foul beast. Dennis won. Nats versus Junomobile. Nats fired his way to victory. Nats won. Dennis v Nats. Hopefully we won't get farted on. Do you want to give Dennis advice during the battle? No. Dennis can really win a battle without any advice. So true, Bessie. Dennis versus Nats. Told you. He just farted on Dennis, dude. You got spit on him, Dennis. Yeah. KO. You only got one fart in on you, Dennis. That's good work. Dennis won. Dennis is the winner. Dennis has pink eye? Yeah. Dude, Dennis just won his first tournament, guys. I'm so proud of my boy. I'm so proud of my boy. I'm so proud of my boy. This is the result of this tournament. $1,000. I got disc chips. Now I can't wait to see Dennis's fame status. Whoa, fame went up. Wow. Fame went up. Wow. Dude, Dennis is a star now. He's a star. Maynard, I think Dennis has learned a lesson in this tournament. See, look. Congratulations on your victory. I think Dennis did a great job. Praise it? Yes. Damn right. Alright, now let's throw him in the fucking deep freezer immediately. Alright, go to... First, let's save. I don't want to read help. Then we go to town. We're going to the town, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, lab. Freeze, Dennis. Combine. 2 or more frozen monsters to combine. Alright, I need another monster. Yay. They're stronger when they're combined. That's cool. Oh, Maynard, welcome. What would you like to do? I'd like to get. As the season changes, so does the selection of monsters. Please choose a monster you like. Arrowhead. Toughness. Please choose a monster you like. I hate this music so fucking much. Strange looking monster. Sure. Moki. Whole tone scale. We have to give it a name. He. He. We're going to take he to the ranch, okay? Let's do our best to raise he. Let's. Look at that prance. Immediately in the battle. No, we can't do that. Yeah, he needs to go to college if he's doing shit like that. Wait, that's a lot of fucking money, actually. Hold on. Moki. Thank you. So he needs power. Do the pull drill. Pull, bitch. Good shit. Strong boy.
Strong boy. What food do you want to give it this month?
Give it strong tablet full of drug. Eat quote unquote well. Give you pills. Did you know the official tournament is at the end of this month? You have to prepare your he to fight. Oh, dude, he as well. What the fuck is that? Don't do that. No, I don't want to do that. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Rest our he. He's strong enough. He is very well. Hey, there is a battle on. Artemis Cup. Maynard, let's go for it. He Lontar Leon. Alright, he. Let's get it. He. Headbutt and slap. Those are some good moves. Nice. Foolery. Owie. Slap him. Slap him. Come on. He's a big blob, dude. Just slap the blob. Slap the blob, bro. Bro, slap the blob. Damn it, dude. You're getting hit by the big blob. This dude's nonsense. This dude's about nonsense and tomfoolery. That's his thing, apparently. Very, very unfortunate display of skill there, or lack thereof. Very disappointed in he. Yeah, just slap the wolf. Yeah, just slap the wolf, dude. Headbutt a wolf. Yeah, yeah. Come on, man. Just straight up getting damaged. Okay, maybe he can make it up. Maybe he finally finds himself. Pull out his key hammer. Just slap him and back away. Dodge the lick. Good work. Ow. Ow. Stop it. He's so undisciplined, you know? All right. Leon won. That's a strong-ass wolf. I'll give him that. What can you say? No money. I think my diet of chili mac and espresso might be affecting my digestive system. Yeah, maybe. If you think about it, it's actually like a lot of like pro-digestives and stuff to help it move along, and a lot of fiber from the beans, and the nice carbohydrates to give you energy while you're pooping from the mac. I think you should keep it up, maybe even double it. Aw, he. Yes, hello, big weed, haha. They're like, yeah, put him in a fucking tournament. You know what? Why not? I could combine this with some magnesium citrate for shit maxing potential. Citrate? Citrate? Is that like magnesium supplements? Do those make people shit? Personally, I get my magnesium from not eating like a dumbass.
Puppy, it's time for pets. Pap it, pap pap.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, girlfriend. Oh, Joke Cube. Joke Cube. Yeah, fuck him up. She cut off? Yeah. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Let's go, he. Let's go. You can do it, he.
I'll joke you. Come on, he. Yeah, he. We lost, but that's okay. Yeah. Sleep bomb. I know someone named Sleep. They're a little fucker. Yeah, headbutt. Yeah, headbutt, yeah.
Who up's
Is he
reading
immune
on
to
the
the
bomb
germs?
right now?
And oh, you know it. And just fingered his nostril. Quit it. Come on, man. Yeah! We win. At least against her. He won. I can't wait to combine he with Dennis to make Hennis. I'll give he some advice during the battle. Sleet bomb. Look at this strange creature. Look at this fucking guy. Oh! You're kind of scary with it. Wait, what? Oh, he's kicking up dust in my face. Okay. I thought there was another enemy that fucking farts. Yeah, slap his stupid face. Yeah, fuck him up. Nope. Oh no! Fucking dead. What a freaky puppet bastard. Sakura Art 1. I like how Capella's giving a thumbs up in that picture. Alright. Alright, we're gonna first, we're gonna headbutt him. Alright, you fucked it up. It's okay, you're gonna try it again here in a second. Regain control. Yeah, slap him. Just keep your head ready and keep headbutting him. Keep your head in headbutting mode. Keep your brain tensed and hard. Dude, he is working with him. There's nothing I can do here. He's got me completely stun locked. Shit-eating monkey. This shit-eating monkey made me lose. I blame the shit-eating monkey. That thing's totally giving a thumbs up. Alright. Oh, watch out for the ball. Keep your head in the game, buddy. Yeah, headbutt. That's your strongest ability. Let's keep doing that. Yo! Yo, I think that's your, like, cousin, bro. Don't let her lick you. Hit her. Yeah, slap her. Uh-oh. Not the ball. No, he's dead. Yeah. He's fucking dead. She is the last of her bloodline. Now. And that is, I think, the end of the tournament. After these folks. Yes. I was going to combine, 50 bucks, wow. I was going to combine Dennis with he this stream, but I want to stop streaming now. I'm getting very tired. So I'll catch y'all later. Thank you all for hopping in. I will catch you soon, TM, for more of this sort of thing in the future. Maybe tomorrow? We'll see. Anyways, good night, chat.